I'm going to do this one. So, this fella, by the name of Richard Medhurst, has been on my radar for a little while. And this guy over the last month or so, I always had a feeling that this guy was kind of cringy. But this guy over the last month ago has proven all of my suspicions to be correct. This guy is totally trying to ride on the Jimmy Dore coattails. He had Jimmy Dore on his show and had Jimmy Dore say a bunch of unhinged garbage, and he was just nodding along because he's a good little talking head. So this guy, again, I played this video earlier of Jimmy Dore talking about how union organizing is bad. You got to leave NNU. How dare nurses on the front line of a pandemic not watch my show and not come on my show, right? That's what Jimmy Dore has been saying, right? So this guy is going to one-up that shit. This guy's going to go a little bit further on the cringe train. And so I want to just play this clip, and I want you to know, if you're looking this guy up on the internet, I want you to know who you're talking to or talking with or listening to, because this guy, again, a little off the rails. So let's watch.
You know what, man? I am ecstatic. I am so glad that the great unmasking is upon us.
So again, the whole strategy, and I want to remind you what I said in the previous clip. The whole strategy is for Jimmy Dore and all of his people. Let's say you subscribe to 30 people on YouTube. You get your news from David Pakman, TYT, Majority Report, Jimmy Dore, Richard Medhurst, all these guys, right? You get your news from a wide variety of angles. This whole game is for you to pick a side. Jimmy Dore and this Richard Medhurst guy, they're trying to make you cleave yourself from other YouTube channels, from other outlets, from other media outlets, from other journals, right? They're trying to make you cleave yourself from unions. They're trying to make you cleave yourself from DSA. That's what Jimmy Dore is doing, because they want to maximize the time that you're watching their streams. So if you're subscribed to 30 channels, you're probably not going to be watching Jimmy Dore's show as much as you would be if you were only subscribed to 10 channels. So the idea here is for you to cancel everyone else and only subscribe to them. And part of how this is done is with the great unmasking trope. This is the same thing that the QAnon people have been doing. Oh, Bill Barr is compromised. Oh, all these people are compromised. It's Donald Trump. Where we go one, we go all. Donald Trump, right? That's what this is. This guy, and because this guy is a little bit of a weirdo, he's trying to ride on the coattails of Jimmy Dore. Again, if you can get into that network of 5 people, the gray zone, right? Fucking whatever, you get them in there and it's all right, you maximize those dollars, those clicks, the watch time, you maximize all of it, you get those super chats, right? So I want you to understand what this grift is. This is a hardcore grift. And again, this guy's going to go a little bit off the chain here.
The great unmasking is upon us. The fraud squad, all of these progressives voting for Pelosi again.
Now, I just want to say, I don't like Pelosi. If I were in Congress, I would have not voted for Pelosi. That's my position, okay? Now, the whole force the vote thing was about don't vote for Pelosi unless you get concessions. That's what the merits, that's what the strategy was. So, the progressives in the House literally did just that. They abstained from voting for Pelosi until they got concessions in the form of a pay-go exemption, right? So they literally did what the force the vote people were asking them to do. And then, all of a sudden, they're getting canceled for it. What?
That's the final nail in the coffin. I don't want to hear nothing from you, man. Jamaal, Bowman, and Cori Bush literally just got sworn in their first day on the job. What do? They go and vote for a war criminal who's denying you health care. The things that they ran on, huh? Just last week, they're saying, oh, we don't know who we're going to vote for.
So I want you to watch this clip because it's important. It's demobilizing. That's what this is. It's demobilizing. Again, Jimmy Dore is saying, oh, don't vote. The National Nurses Union, fuck them.
Doing anything.
Right? We're already organized.
We've been organizing. We need to organize more. We do not need to organize more for...
Look, Jimmy Dore said it himself. We do not need to organize more. So what this person is going to try to do, this Richard Medhurst fella, is he's going to try to say Jamaal Bowman and Cori Bush, they're the same as AOC, or they're the same rather as Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi is the same as Kevin McCarthy. They're all the same. Every politician is the same, right? So instead of, mobilizing and organizing and doing direct action, don't do that. Just watch my podcast, right? If your thing was, all right, fuck electoralism, we got to do marches in the streets. We got to do hunger strikes. We got to do general strikes. I agree. I'm all for direct action, mutual aid, community gardens, food programs. Let's get it, right? But these people are not advocating for that. They're saying, do not organize. Just watch my podcast and tweet in my on Twitter and use my hashtags that promote my show. That's what these people are saying.
Surprise, it's a surprise. Yeah, that surprise was a knife in your back. That's what it was. And then AOC and her media poodles, they got the nerve to pearl clutch, talking about cussing. Cussing is violence. You're more offended by cuss words than people suffering.
That's not what AOC said. But again, this guy's a little bit of a, dullard. And, with all due respect, I mean,
dumb people, liberal people.
Like, I don't know. This guy's not that bright, right? So this whole thing is just trying to cleave you away from everyone else. Don't organize. Don't go outside. Sit at home and watch my podcast.
It's violence. You're more offended by cuss words than people suffering. People out here dying, they got no health care or money.
Now, again, AOC is not offended by cuss words. She's offended by people like Jimmy Dore saying, I'm going to come after you and I'm never going to stop. That's what AOC was offended by. It's not because Jimmy Dore said, fuck you! It's because Jimmy Dore said, I'm coming for you and I'm never going to stop. That is why AOC called it violence, because that is factually, objectively, not debatably, inciting violence. And I'm sorry if you get triggered by that. I'm sorry, right? But if you're going to go out there and say we don't need to organize, you got to stay at home and watch my podcast, but also electoralism is dead, then what are you doing? What are you building? You're building nothing but your fucking ad revenue on YouTube, dude.
Go and fuck yourself, man. You see that globe behind me? You work at the most violent...
Look at that. Oh my God. This fucking... I'm sorry. You see that globe behind me?
Man. You see that globe behind me? You work at the most violent...
By the way, I don't, because, the microphone is, blocking it. And also, you've got this, bizarre, camera thing on where, the background is, super unfocused, right? I'm, if you're gonna have, your background try to be epic, don't make it unfocused. Look at my background. My background's fucking epic as fuck. Look, I got little M&Ms on the thing. I got Mega Man X6. I got a fucking anti-fascist flag. I got the Bernie signs, right? My background's fucking rad as hell, right? I can't even see this shit. I see Green Day, and that's the only thing I see the fucking hat he's got. I love the hat, by the way. The hat's really good. This guy is totally going for an aesthetic that he does not represent in any fashion, but it's just really funny. Let's keep watching.
Murderous establishment on the planet. Don't come here and talk to me about fucking violence. You just voted for violence. You voted for a woman who's covering up George Bush's torture programs.
Again, they're trying to make out the progressives in Congress as the same as Nancy Pelosi, and then this guy's going to pivot and say that Pelosi is the same as McCarthy. Democrats and Republicans are all the same. There are no variations. That's what this guy's going to say.
That's fucking violence. You just voted for a woman who thought it's okay to drone strike civilians and hide it. A woman who's supporting imperialist coups in other countries, bombing and sanctioning black and brown people.
Again, I just want to say, for the record, I agree with all this. Nancy Pelosi is a ghoul. Probably one of the worst people in American history, without a doubt.
That's violence. A woman who said, I'm not a fan of Medicare for all, who won't even give you a vote during a pandemic. Listen to yourselves. You're voting for evil. You literally voted for that woman. That's real violence, death, and destruction that you're enabling. No sane person would be voting for Pelosi regardless, out of principle. Never mind forcing a vote on Medicare for all. How morally bankrupt are you?
Now again, the whole merit behind force the vote was do not vote for Pelosi unless you get concessions. So the whole force the vote thing was about voting for Pelosi. The goal of force the vote was to have the progressives in the squad vote for Pelosi. That was the goal. They said, do not vote for Pelosi unless you get concessions. But if you get concessions, that means you vote for Pelosi. So the squad got concessions and then voted for Pelosi, just like Force the Vote told them to. And now that's not good enough. Now, again, even if Medicare for All's having a floor vote was a part of those concessions, and they probably aren't right now, they're probably going to do more important things like more stimulus packages, right? But even if that's the case, it's not provable nor disprovable that they're going to have a floor vote forced. So there's no way for them to know that yet, right? But they're still going to try to cancel the squad. So they said, don't vote for Pelosi unless you get concessions. And then without waiting to see what the concessions are, they're canceling the squad. That's why this shit is ridiculous. It's all a grift.
And don't sit there and tell me about, oh, what, you want McCarthy to win instead? As if Pelosi's any different from the next Republican and the next neocon.
Yep. Jamaal Bowman is the same thing as Nancy Pelosi. And it just so happens that Nancy Pelosi is the same thing as Kevin McCarthy. And so that means Jamaal Bowman, Kevin McCarthy, They're the same person. There's no difference between them at all.
They're all the same corporatist warmongers, and you fucking know it. Don't sit there and act like Republicans and Democrats are different. If progressives had any spine, they would have leveraged their votes against Pelosi for something.
And again, there is no way to know that they did not do that. Now, again, they publicized the pay-go exemption, so we know that they got a concession at the very least. Now, is it enough? In my opinion, no. But again, we don't know what else they got yet. If it hasn't been publicized, then we don't know. Now, it's possible that only the pay-go exemption was gotten, but they like to pretend the pay-go doesn't matter. They like to pretend, pay-go, what's that? Like, they just don't give a fuck. So while they say that they shouldn't vote for Pelosi unless they get concessions, the squad did exactly what they're advocating for them to do, except it's not good enough because, how do I get more people to subscribe to my Patreon page?
Anything. She won by a razor-thin margin, man. 7 votes, that's it. That's all it would have taken to get one damn concession, one damn thing.
Again, they already got one damn thing. So again, if this guy is demanding 2 or 3 or a whole host of things, then that's his opinion. But he is saying they didn't get anything. By the way, he posted this clip himself. I want to say this is not out of context. This dumb motherfucker made the editorial decision to post the clip himself. So I'm just throwing that out there. Right? But literally, this was 12 hours ago. They got the pay-go exemption publicized like 4 days ago or something. So this guy's just lying to you. He's lying. And again, I agree with him. Pelosi is bad. But to say that Jamaal, Bowman, and Kevin McCarthy are the same person? What?
Damn concession, one damn thing. And so what if she doesn't agree? You take the bitch down with you. At least you fucking stood for something. At least you tried to deliver on your campaign promises. You were sent to Congress to play hardball.
You're willing to have Kevin McCarthy be the Speaker of the House while Donald Trump and the Republican Party are trying to steal the election via Congress in 2 days from now. What? What? Donald Trump and Republicans in both the House and the Senate are trying to overturn the results of the election on January 6th Congressional Electoral College certification. And you want a Republican to lead the House because we've already got one leading the Senate and you want one to lead the House too. What? Like, what? But again, they don't care about Trump trying to overturn the results of the election. They only care about coups in other countries when it's politically convenient for them to cash in on those news stories because that's what they posture. They don't care about a coup right here in the United States. And guess what? I think all coups are bad, right? That's my opinion. Well, I mean, we could maybe have a conversation in the abstract, right? But as far as all the recent stuff that's been going on in the world, all coups are bad, right? ACAB, right?
And challenge these people, not call them mama bear and twiddle your goddamn thumbs. This is bullshit and you fucking know it. The fraud squad has been exposed. All right? These people don't care about you. Go and get your yellow vests.
Again, this guy's trying to direct action yellow vests. What? Is Richard Medhurst going to go get a yellow vest? This is one of my problems because I'm actually someone that has done direct action. I am someone that has done anti-fascist organizing. I am someone that has worked for political campaigns. I have been to protests. I have been to violent protests. I would never compel someone to go to a violent protest with a yellow vest without educating them, without saying that they need to go in a squad, without saying, buddy system, all that stuff, without giving them precautions. This guy is trying to have people in the middle of a pandemic go violently protest because that's what the yellow vest is symbolic of, which, by the way, again, I'm down with. But we need to organize, right? And this guy is, again, riding on the coattails of Jimmy Dore, who says we don't need to organize.
Not need to organize more for Medicare for all.
We don't need to organize. So do we need to go out there with our yellow vests by ourselves? What? But again, it's all a grift to these people. It's all a grift. And I will say that I'm grifting. Damn right I'm grifting. But I'm not going to compromise my fucking values, right? If I make videos about Jimmy Dore, I get a bunch of money from it. Damn, hell yeah. But I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm not going to present contradictory forms of thought. I'm not going to say that Jamaal Bowman and Kevin McCarthy are the same thing. I'm not going to say that we have to stop organizing but also get your yellow vests. Why would I do that? I have no incentive to do that. I have an incentive to tell you my opinion. Now, because I am getting a lot of ad revenue and a lot of things for speaking on a particular subject, I am more incentivized to speak on that particular subject, right? Now, let's look at Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is also more incentivized to speak on that particular subject. Richard Medhurst is also more incentivized to speak on that particular subject. But the difference between us is that I am not compromising my values. I am presenting a consistent and coherent message. They are not. They are in it for the money and only the money. I'm in it to build something. I'm in it because I want to build something, and if I can make some cash along the way to pay my rent, damn right I will. Anyway, I'm sick of these fucking weirdos, and this guy's been on my radar for a little bit. I agree with a lot of the stuff he says, and that's one of the things is I agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but the problem is this guy's doing this like weird like cancel culture bullshit. Like these are like the AOC called the F word violence, but also I'm gonna cancel you because you disagree with me one time. What? I don't know. It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck, actually. But I want to give you God damn it.